Hello, welcome back to my channel. I am Thomas and I like scary movies. Today we are going to be watching Candyman 2021 and there will be spoilers. Trigger warnings include death, blood, gore, body horror, and violence. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And leave a comment if you've already seen the movie. I will be reviewing. The other guy will be reacting. Before the movie begins, we get the song Candyman by Sammy Davis Jr. playing. I think it's interesting that they decided to play this "Hey Candyman" like song in the beginning. Because whenever I've been thinking about watching this movie, I've been singing the Christina Aguilera version, like "Sweet Sugar Candyman, trumpets playing in the background." Okay, anyway. But the opening credits that we are presented are backwards, and the sound of bees can be heard in the background. The opening act begins with a young William playing with shadow puppets in his room. His mom tells him to go and do the laundry, presenting us with the setting of Cabrini Green, 1977. On his way, one of the cops around the area calls for his attention, silently asking if he's seen the man on the wanted paper, but he quickly dismisses it. After William puts his laundry in the washing machine, he goes to leave, but is stopped by a piece of candy that falls to the ground. As he picks it up, he notices someone hiding in the hole in the wall. I'm sure most of us knows better, unless it's Halloween. As the hooked arm man begins to walk out with candy in hand, William screams, alerting the police. In Cabrini Green 2019, Troy and his boyfriend Grady come over for a housewarming get-together at Anthony and Brianna's new home. They talk about how the neighborhood is considered haunted, being called Smoky Hollow, Little Hell, and Combat Alley. That the area was affordable housing but is now gentrified. But then Troy wants to tell a scary story.
You guys want to hear a scary story?
No.
We're watching a scary movie, so yeah. Despite opposition, he tells the urban legend of Helen Lyle. In a shadow puppet presentation, he essentially describes the story of Candyman 1992, but through a different perspective of Helen, a grad student that snaps, murdering a dog, playing in blood, killing multiple others, and kidnapping a baby to sacrifice in the annual bonfire. But as the residents save the baby, Helen walks into the fire and dies. The next day, Anthony is showing his art to Clive, an art dealer. Anthony is a struggling artist who has had success before, but is now being financially supported by his girlfriend. He has to quickly think of a new project on the spot to appease to Clive, and comes out with Cabrini Green and how white supremacy creates spaces of rampant neglect for communities of color. After doing some research, he goes to take pictures of the area, but gets stung by a bee. Soon after fence jumping into the abandoned housing project, he meets William Burke. He helps him carry some things to the laundromat that he owns, asking to take some notes. That's when William tells him of the story of Candyman. To William, the Candyman was Sherman Fields. He had a hook hand and would give candy to kids. One day, a razor blade was found in a little white girl's candy, so the police were searching for him. Returning to where we left in the opening scene.
I saw myself.
Oh, he was the boy. Where William screams after seeing Sherman come out of the walls, alerting the police. They swarm and kill Sherman. But because more razor blades showed up after his death, they knew he was innocent. Anthony returns home and begins his new art piece and shows it to Brianna. The art piece describes how Sherman was beat until he was unrecognizable and people would see him around after his death, and he became known as the Candyman. Brianna seems unimpressed, saying that it's very literal. But Anthony is excited about this piece, even including the legend that if you say Candyman 5 times into a mirror, he shows up in the reflection and kills you. To Brianna's dismay, Anthony playfully recites it 5 times into the window reflection. Even though nothing happens in the moment, when they're not looking, a shadowy man can be seen in the reflection. There's someone in there. There's someone there. There's someone there, look. At the Night Driver Art Gallery, that Brianna is a director of, Anthony has an art piece based on the Candyman legend titled Say My Name, inviting the guests to evoke the Candyman. His piece isn't very well received, even insulted from his peers and the critics.
But your kind are the real pioneers of that cycle, you know.
Excuse me?
Your kind?
Artists.
Oh. I was pretty sure.
Upon disenfranchised neighborhoods.
She knows how it sounded.
Cheap rents.
Anthony gets drunk and argues with his colleagues, but eventually leaves.
For her? Shouldn't you be somewhere stocking up on morning after pills to accommodate your summer intern program?
That's
Ooh.
not spontaneous. You had
Oop.
that one in the bank.
Yeah,
Can I oop?
bitch.
While closing the gallery, Clive and his intern Jessica gossip about Brianna and how she gave Anthony space in the gallery. And then, when they're getting frisky, say Candyman's name 5 times. Then Jessica abruptly gets her throat cut.
Nothing.
So much for that.
Is this real?
What you mean?
Is this real?
And Clive eventually sees Candyman appear in the reflection and shadows of the exhibit. As he tries to run away, he's forcibly brought back. Meanwhile, Anthony's been working on more art throughout the night. His bee sting injury has gotten worse. As Brianna opens the gallery, she finds the bodies of her colleagues. The news reports the death, but also Anthony's art, and that excites him, which bothers Brianna and Troy. At night, Brianna's memory of finding her peer's body triggers memories of her father committing suicide. She wakes up to a shadow in the bathroom, but that's another dream, and she wakes up to Anthony in the bathroom. She wants to discuss their dreams, but Anthony can't remember his. Anthony obtains information on Helen Lyle from the university archives. While listening to the tapes of Helen Lyle talking about the Candyman, the elevator stops. The candy drops to the floor with a blade in it. When he looks up, he sees the Candyman. But very soon after, the elevator doors open and he leaves. At night, Anthony is invited to Finley Stevens' home, the art critic. She wants to write an article surrounding the murders in Anthony's art exhibit. Anthony is understandably upset by her change in opinion. He even tries to dare her into saying Candyman's name. While she's in the bathroom, Anthony picks at his injury, which has gotten progressively worse. As he goes to find her, he sees the Candyman's reflection in the mirror. But the Candyman is mirroring Anthony's movement, his injury even reflecting the hook. As he leaves Finley's home, the camera zooms out as Finley is being murdered. A dead white woman. Do you know who they're gonna blame? Anthony makes it to dinner with Brianna, Jack Hyde, and other people of the art industry. Brianna really wants the dinner to go well, as this could potentially lead to new job perspectives. During the dinner, they get notifications regarding Finley Stevens' death, and Anthony rushes out. Anthony meets with William at his laundromat, asking about the Candyman he is seeing. William explains that Candyman isn't a single person or a mere urban legend. It is more of the generational pain of many different innocent black men that have been murdered, including the Candyman Helen Lyle encountered, Daniel Robitaille. Daniel was a painter that fell in love with a white woman. After she became pregnant, she told her father, and the father hired men to hunt Robitaille. They tortured him, cut his arm off and replaced it with a hook, covered his body in honey for the beast to sting him, and then set him on fire. Brianna finds Anthony's new paintings, which he unconsciously made of the past Candyman, and he attempts to explain to Brianna what is happening. She doesn't believe him, and even tries to show him it's not real by saying his name, but Anthony breaks the mirror to protect her. Brianna goes to Troy's place for comfort, and Troy tells her that their mother wants to close a storage unit that includes their father's art. Brianna isn't very willing, as she believes it caused his death. Her father's actions even share a likeness to what's happening to Anthony. Meanwhile, at a high school, a girl that interacted with Anthony's art piece convinced her friends to say the Candyman's name in the bathroom, with the exception of one who chickens out. After nothing happens, Trina, the student, goes into the bathroom, and the girls proceed to leave while also mocking Trina. But the door won't open. That's when each girl gets murdered. As Anthony wakes up to his scab spreading, Brianna finds out that the art industry people are more interested in the story of her tragic past and Anthony's newfound fame. Anthony hears about the children's death at the hospital, and then the doctors mention that he was born in Cabrini Green, which he didn't know. He goes to confront his mother, and she tells him that he is the baby that Helen Lyle saved from the Candyman. Anthony leaves upset. Brianna and Troy go to Brianna's apartment to get her stuff, but Anthony isn't there. Then she remembers that William was the one to tell him about Candyman. She goes to visit William, but then is kidnapped. In a memory, William remembers his sister being murdered by Candyman, remembering feeling guilty because he was the reason that Sherman died. As Brianna wakes up in the church, William calls the cops on Anthony, saying he's the killer. He explains to Brianna that Candyman being a symbol of black pain caused suffering in this area, but through Anthony, they can change the story of Candyman to be one of vengeance. Anthony's beasting has now almost completely covered his body, and William replaces Anthony's hand with a hook. Brianna runs away, and William chases after her. But Brianna kills him. Anthony appears and falls into her arms. When the police show up, before she can utter a word, the police shoot and kill Anthony. They arrest Brianna, and the officer clearly tries to form a story of the police defending themselves from Anthony. But if Brianna doesn't comply, they'll frame her as an accomplice. She says she'll agree with the story if she can see herself in the mirror. And when she does, she calls for the Candyman. Anthony appears and kills the officers on the scene as Candyman. As Brianna leaves from the cop car, she sees Candyman kill the last officer, and the bees surrounding his face reveal the first Candyman, Daniel Robitaille. During the credits, we see a shadow puppet story of the tragic past of the previous Candyman and the new Candyman. The end. I really enjoyed this movie. Out of 5, I would give this movie 4.3. I think my favorite scene from the movie would have to be the shadow puppet plays that they keep performing. I also really enjoyed the scenes that were at the art critic's home. Maybe almost all the scenes where the Candyman is murdering someone. Trend alert. Bees. Mirrors. Washing machines. Metaphors. Remember to please like and subscribe, and comment if you've seen the movie, any favorite scenes, what you think the meaning was behind any particular piece in the movie. Bye. Scaredy cat.